Can you buy a Paragon on Chimps mode? That is the question that we're going to try and answer today. And let me tell you guys, I'm super excited about this one. Now, this has been achieved in the past, but there are a lot of things that have changed ever since people have done this. So I thought this is going to be the first time for me trying to do this. And I feel like what better way to do it when things have gotten a little bit easier, I think, in general. But there are some changes that also happen that make this thing a little bit harder than it used to be. So let me walk you guys and give you guys an intro of what we're going to be doing today. So first off, we're going for the Dart Paragon because it is the cheapest one. It is now standing at $162,000, which is the cheapest Paragon out of every Paragon that we have currently in the game. And 162 is kind of close to some other tier 5s, like for example the Super Wines, which is 130,000 by itself. Now, before this huge price reduction, the Dart Paragon was actually sitting at about 370,000 if I remember its previous price. You guys know what the I stands in Chimps mode. It stands for no income, but that wasn't exactly true because there was this, I think it was just a bug which allowed people to make money in Chimps mode, and that's how people were able to afford it because it increased the cash per pop. But now that glitch has been fixed, so even though the price is a little bit cheaper, we can no longer cheese it by making money in Chimps mode. So this should make for a very interesting run. So this is going to be a Master Bomber into Shinobi spam strategy, which is not what you usually see. Usually people buff the top path ninja, but we're going to buff the bottom path because this Master Bomber is throwing the projectiles, it's stunning these balloons, and when the ultra late game arrives, it's going to be able to keep everything that's basically not a bad balloon in place. I hope to get about 15 Shinobis. I think I'm going to be super happy if I get 15, and I hope to get as many of them as possible into the range of this discount village so we save money. And these three guys at the bottom are just going to be the Paragon darts. Now, I brought Azili as a hero because Azili is probably the most useful out of all heroes that we currently have for this specific purpose. Adora is a little bit better for the late game, but Adora shines if you have a bunch of temples in the VTSG, which we're not going for. And then Geraldo also will not work just because, well, there are no other Paragons to buff with the Paragon Power Totem. So Azili is the perfect pick for this one. We're going to have a lot of stall for these small balloons, and then Azili is going to take care of for all these bad balloons basically. Now, the strategy is to save as much money as possible. So even though we're going to be doing everything under a discount village, the goal is to try and get the Dart Paragon before round 160, 170, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, it's very important for runs like this to save as much money as possible. So I'm actually going to be cutting corners as much as I can just so that I can get this thing as soon as possible. Because if we start to spiral out into these 160s, 170s, 180s, then this setup is just not going to hold on, and that's going to mean that we're going to have to spend money on some other towers to defend. And if you keep spending money to keep up with the balloons that are coming out, it's just going to turn into this spiral, and it's basically an achievement of $160,000 that we are never going to get, so we're never going to save up money for it. So that's why I'm going to try and cut corners as much as possible actually. Okay, so last update before round 100, I think that you guys already know that these towers are just going to demolish everything that's going to be happening, and even in the free play. So let me just buy this guy now, buy the Master Bomber, and let me try and spam a bunch of Shinobi. So the goal is to have, as I mentioned, 15, so we have to fit 7 more, and I think that might be possible. Let me just upgrade everyone and see where we're at. So we're at 15. Yeah, there we go. So you guys know how I said I wasn't gonna spend a lot of money. Well, it's round 106 and we have ran into our first problem. So 106 is one of those rounds which is preset. It has a bunch of deities, so let me show you guys what's happening on this one. And the problem is that we cannot handle these guys, so it is time to buy some other stuff. And first off, let me start by buying a glue. So let me have a village over here. Hopefully hopefully I'm a little bit faster with this one. Okay, so let's do it like this. Am I getting the Relentless? I think I'm gonna chill on the Relentless. So let's not get the Relentless. Let's just keep it as a mob glue for now. And I think that it is time to buy the other stuff that we're missing. So let's get the PMFC. Let's get the Dog Monkey. I feel like, yeah, I should probably use this thing. I should use the Moab Hex. And now there we go. So that is finally, yeah, we're gonna need these support towers very badly. So I'm gonna save up money for the Ultra Juggernaut next. Let me check Azili's stuff. So she's at level 18. It's very important that we get into level 20 because the Moab is going to start doing a lot of damage. I feel like I might just buy a couple more Shinobis because 15 is good, but you know what? We're probably going to need the 20 of them, I'm going to be honest. So a little bit of an update for you guys. We have the first bad balloons appearing on round 119, and just look at this Moab Hex go to town. It completely destroys all of them, and that is everything thanks to Azili. So in the next few rounds, I guess you guys can see that we're at about 55,000, which means that that would be about 30%. That's a little bit over 30% of the way there. Okay, so it's round 131, and we are about halfway there. So the price of the Apex Plasma Master is 162, and we are at about 82,000 at this point. But I'm noticing some huge problems with this entire thing because these DDTs, when they appear, they are super fast, and our towers have huge difficulties just dealing with these guys. I mean, I feel like we're gonna have to buy something. I'm just not sure what is it gonna be yet. So when the time comes, we're gonna have to buy something, and I feel like that's gonna be sooner rather than later. But I will see you guys in a second when that choice has to be made. So you guys know how I said that there was going to be a time in the future in which just this setup is not going to be able to hold on, and that time has arrived. So here's what I bought. I bought this guy. This is a 240 ice. I'm using the platform here in the water, kind of a cheesy strategy, so that I can get 20 stacks. So this shinobi is maxed out fully. This is the master model with 20 shinobi stacks, and then I'm also going to buy the jungle drums. We're about to enter round 150. Let me give you guys a showcase of how one round looks like. So as soon as bad balloons appear, I use Azili's hex, which hopefully she's set on strong, and the hex is following Azili's targeting. So because she's set on strong, it's gonna target the bad balloons. The bat is gonna get popped, and then if there's some duration left onto the Moab hex, then it's going to carry over to the next bat if we have someone appear on screen. And then when this bat gets popped, the Moab hex is gonna transfer onto the next strongest balloon, which in this case are gonna be the UMGs. So if we're averaging about $4,000 that we're making per round, we are gonna need about 10 more rounds to get this thing going. So I'm gonna see you guys in a second. So I'm really sad to report that we are a little bit behind now. We're at $80,000, and that is because in the previous round we had the worst possible spawn, which is 5 bad balloons with like 100 DDTs below them or something like that. And it was ridiculous. We weren't able to handle any of those guys, so we had to stop the DDTs and just kind of give time for everything to pop the DDTs while the Moab hex was working on the bad balloons. And that is why I thought that the best tower to buy was this guy, the Balloon Crush, which is going to hold everything in place, and then the Moab hex is just going to go to town onto these bad balloons. I'm not giving up on this, and I'm not giving hope, because I do think that this is possible, but yeah, this was a bigger setback than we would have liked to. Okay, this is the last stretch. We are at $151,000, and if we're making about 4,000 per round, that means that we are, well, actually let's see how much we're making this one, but it is at maximum 4 rounds left before we buy this thing. Now we are encountering some huge problems, and you guys can see those problems on screen, and that is the fact that these bad balloons are super fast. They have a lot of HP, and basically if there are more than 3 bad balloons in a round, then we are gonna lose. So basically the only thing left between us getting this thing is just RNG. If we can get less than 3 bad spawns per round, then we totally have this thing, but it's gonna be close, and the final check-in is going to be when I actually hopefully buy this thing. So I will see you guys in a second. 160k, we are so close. $2,000 off of this thing. Please let this round be enough. I don't think this round is gonna be enough, but I really hope that maybe we can clutch it up. So if this next round, actually, are we gonna have it on this one? No, we won't. No, we won't. It's gonna be $1,000 off. So please just let this next round not have 5 bad balloons. That's it. Like, actually, even 4 is probably gonna be too much. So $700 off. I'm just gonna use the Moab hex, and I'm gonna try and pop these balloons as fast as possible. 400. Oh my god, that's 2 bad balloons. Please just 3 bats. Oh my god, we're not beating this round. We have to buy it right now. Okay, so $100 off, and there it is. Apex Plasma Master. Let's just click it, because we have no, how much can we contribute? We can contribute 90. We can contribute $99, and I'm absolutely gonna do it. And let's finally get the Apex Plasma Master with a degree 63, I think it was. Yeah, there we go, on Chimps mode. Let me just show you guys that we are in fact playing on Chimps mode. So there we go. We actually were able to buy this thing. That is just ridiculous. This is the first time of me ever doing something like this. Wait, was this the actual final round that we could have bought this thing? Because this guy is not particularly good versus bad balloons. So unless the Moab hex picks it up, was this probably the luckiest? Well, actually, you know what? Well, now that the bad balloon popped, yeah, that was probably not the last round, but it was clutch nonetheless. I mean, we had to kind of delay it a little bit because of the Balloon Crush, but we finally got it, and I'm super happy that this thing happened. So there we go. We bought a Paragon in Chimps mode. It actually is possible. A little bit later than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be maybe before 160, but here it is. So that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Use code ETHERNEAT in the Balloon Store if you want to help support the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.